Keep going.
And talked about what we were going to do. And about 11 o'clock that night, this evening it started at about 8 o'clock when I was on my way home. At 11 o'clock that night, Mr. Olson and I went to the White House together.
Just before you get there, you told Mr. Card that you were very troubled by the conduct from the White House room, and that's why you wanted Mr. Olson to accompany you, without giving any of the details, which we totally respect in terms of substance. Just tell me why. What did you tell him that so upset you, or if you didn't tell him, just tell us.
I was very upset. I was angry. I thought I had just witnessed an effort to take advantage of a very sick man who did not have the powers of the Attorney General because they had been transferred to me. I thought he had conducted himself, and I said to the Attorney General, in a way that demonstrated a strength I had never seen before, but still I thought it was improper. And it was for that reason I thought there ought to be somebody with me if I'm going to meet with Mr. Card.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit about the discussion at the Justice Department when all of you convened? I guess it was that night.
Yeah, I don't think it's appropriate for me to go into the substance of it. We discussed what to do. I recall the Associate Attorney General being there, the Solicitor General, the Assistant Attorney General in charge of the Office of Legal Counsel, senior staff from the Attorney General, senior staff of mine, and we just, I don't want to reveal the substance of those discussions.
I don't want you to reveal the substance. They all thought what you were doing was the right thing, I presume.
I presume. I didn't ask people, but I felt like we were a team. We all understood what was going on, and we were trying to do what was best for the country and the Department of Justice. But it was a very hard night.
Okay, and then did you meet with Mr. Card?
I did. I went with Mr. Olson driving. My security detail drove us to the White House. We went in to the West Wing. Mr. Card would not allow Mr. Olson to enter his office. He asked Mr. Olson to please sit outside in his sitting area. I relented and went in to meet with Mr. Card alone. We met, had a discussion, which was much calmer than the discussion on the telephone. After, I don't remember how long, 10 or 15 minutes, Mr. Gonzalez arrived and brought Mr. Olson into the room, and the four of us had a discussion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And was Mr. Card, were you and Mr. Card still in a state of anger at one another at that meeting, or was it a little calmer, and why?
Not that we showed. It was,
right.
It was much more civil than our phone conversation. Much
Why?
calmer.
Why do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I had calmed down a little bit. I'd had a chance to talk to the people I respected. Ted Olson I respect enormously.
Right. Okay. Was there any discussion of resignations with Mr. Card?
Mr. Card was concerned that he had heard reports that there were to be a large number of resignations at the Department of Justice.
Okay. Okay. And the conversations, the issue, whatever it was not resolved?
Correct. We communicated about it. I communicated again the Department of Justice's view on the matter, and that was it.
Right. And you stated that the next day, Thursday, was the deadline for reauthorization of the program. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell us what happened the next day?
The program was reauthorized without us, without a signature from the Department of Justice attesting as to its legality, and I prepared a letter of resignation intending to resign the next day, Friday, March the 12th.
Okay. And that was the day, as I understand it, of the Madrid train bombings.
Thursday, March 11th was the morning of the Madrid train bombings.
And so obviously people were very concerned with all of that.
Yes, it was a very busy day in the counterterrorism aspect.
Yet even in light of that, you still felt so strongly that you drafted a letter of resignation.
Yes.
Okay. And why did you decide to resign?
I just
Or
believe,
to offer your resignation, is a better way to put it.
I believe that I couldn't, I couldn't stay if the administration was going to engage in conduct that the Department of Justice had said had no legal basis. I simply couldn't stay.
Right. Okay. Now, let me just ask you this, and this obviously is all troubling. As I understand it, you believe that others were also prepared to resign, not just you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Was one of those Director Mueller?
I believe so. You'd have to ask him, but I believe so.
You had conversations with him about it.
Yes.
Okay. How about the Associate Attorney General, Robert McCallum?
I don't know. We didn't discuss it.
How about your Chief of Staff?
Yes. He was certainly going to go when I went.
Right. How about Mr. Ashcroft's Chief of Staff?
My understanding was that he would go as well.
And
I should say,
please.
to make sure I'm accurate,
This is your surmise, not,
yeah, I ended up agreeing. Mr. Ashcroft's Chief of Staff asked me something that meant a great deal to him, and that is that I not resign until Mr. Ashcroft was well enough to resign with me. He was very concerned that Mr. Ashcroft was not well enough to understand fully what was going on, and he begged me to wait until, this was Thursday that I was making this decision, to wait till Monday to give him the weekend to get oriented enough so that I wouldn't leave him behind, was his concern.
and it was his view that Mr. Ashcroft was likely to resign as well.
Yes.
So what did you do when you heard that?
I agreed to wait. I said that what I would do is that Friday would be my last day, and Monday morning I would resign.
Okay. Anything else of significance relevant to this line of questioning occur on Thursday, the 11th, that you can recall?
No, not that I recall.
Thank you. Now, let's go to the next day, which was March 12th. Can you tell us what happened then?
I went to the Oval Office, as I did every morning as Acting Attorney General, with Director Mueller to brief the President and the Vice President on what was going on Justice Department's counterterrorism work. We had the briefing, and as I was leaving, the President asked to speak to me, took me in his study, and we had a one-on-one meeting for about 15 minutes, which I will not go into the substance of. It was a very full exchange, and at the end of that meeting, at my urging, he met with Director Mueller, who was waiting for me downstairs. He met with Director Mueller again privately, just the two of them. And then after those two sessions, we had his direction to do the right thing, to do what we
The President's direction to do the right thing.
We had the President's direction to do what we believe, what the Justice Department believed was necessary to put this matter on a footing where we could certify to its legality. And so we then set out to do that, and we did that.